So I wanted to close this by saying today's makeup and skincare, today's makeup, I have nothing on my face other than that shiny lip liner and that L'Oreal matte lipstick. And I wanted to share my thoughts on it in regards to no makeup. This is just really something that I'm very comfortable with, and it's not because I'm trying to prove something. It's because this is just what I'm used to. I grew up on a tiny island, and if you can imagine, back in the 70s, 80s, we weren't exposed to a lot of that because it's a very tiny and remote island. So I grew up really, really not wearing makeup, and that's kind of like a norm for me throughout my whole life. So this no makeup type of lifestyle, that's something that I've lived with my whole life growing up. I think there was a certain time in my life when I lived in Hawaii. I lived in Hawaii during my later high school years, and I graduated from one of the public schools in Hawaii. It was when I left the island, that's when I was exposed to makeup. Not that there was no makeup on the island back in those days. There was, but we weren't really wearing them. I mean, we would just do mascara, but it wasn't really like the whole works. So at least not for me, it wasn't. So that was no makeup look, and the no makeup type of lifestyle is just something that I've lived with my whole life. So that's why I still live that way. My daughters, who were born and raised on that tiny island too, and didn't leave until they graduated from high school, they lived that life too. They just in 8th grade, ninth, in 7th, 8th, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, they were not wearing heavy makeup, maybe gloss, but I do not ever remember any of my 3 daughters like slathering on foundation, eyeshadow, blusher during their junior high school years. My granddaughter, who's only in the 7th or 8th grade, she is just experimenting with makeup. So it's not really like, I'm trying to be a rebel and I don't want to wear makeup. It's just that because I was born and raised on that tiny island and we were not exposed to it, I just had a simpler lifestyle, and I just wore no makeup. It wasn't until my daughters left the island that they started wearing makeup, just more heavier makeup. Just more products on their face, and that's their choice. But I'm just trying to explain the main reason why I normally just like to go out and spend my day outside in society and just really be comfortable with no makeup. And it's really because that's just how it has always been with me. So no makeup. Someone that has worn makeup from 7th, 8th grade, ninth, from their younger years up to their 50s, I would think that going without it's not something that you're used to. And in the opposite spectrum, on the other side of the train tracks, there's also that spectrum of someone that has lived, from 7th grade, 8th grade, ninth, all the way up to, their 40s, that throughout their whole 20 years old era, and their 30 years old era, and also their 15 to their 20-year-old era, wearing no makeup and just very limited to lipstick, you could understand why that person would just totally be comfortable with no makeup. Well, thank you for joining me. I was a bit of a chatty Cathy today, and thank you for taking time out of your day to watch my vlog.